America has voted and America has spoken. Donald J. Trump will be the 47th President of the United States of America. He's now officially President-elect. And whichever way you want to look at this, whichever side of the spectrum you may have been on, whether you're red or blue, there's no question this is quite a stunning result. With 270 electoral votes needed to secure the presidency, Donald Trump smashed this threshold with 312 of the electoral votes, compared to Vice President Kamala Harris's 226. But the scale of the victory is considered even more impressive when you factor in that he's won the popular votes. Compared to Kamala Harris's 68 million votes, Donald Trump received just under 73 million votes, especially when you consider his first run in 2016, when he received fewer votes nationally than Hillary Clinton, his competitor. But that's not all. The Republicans have already seized control of the Senate by securing a majority there. But while the House of Representatives is still up for grabs, it's looking increasingly likely that that will also be under Republican control. So, Donald Trump has pulled off a clean sweep, ticking every single criteria to secure an election. So the question on everybody's lips now, whether you're American or a citizen of the world, what happens next? What's up everybody, my name is AJ. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Let's get into it. Well, this was a very interesting election because, unlike elections of the past, here we had two candidates vying to be the next president of the United States that actually have experience being in the White House, inside the Oval Office, making big decisions for the country. Here you had Donald Trump, who served as president from 2016 to 2020, and Kamala Harris, who served as vice president to Joe Biden from 2020 to 2024. So both sides had experience being there and actually doing the jobs. And because of that, the American people would have had a unique perspective on what they were voting for because they've seen both figures in action. There was no surprise element as there may have been back in 2016 when Donald Trump first announced he was running for the presidency. But both have had time to govern the country as needed. So from an American perspective, it was a case of who do we think is better suited to run the country right now? Trump clearly appealed in that case. And one reason for that may have been because of the issues surrounding the economy. Primarily because things started to cost so much money, be it groceries, gas, energy. I mean, have a look at this. Despite the success of the Biden administration, Americans bought the Republicans' promise that only he could end their economic misery. Now, Kamala Harris understood how big of an issue this would be, and she made an attempt to address this during the election campaign. Take a listen.
Because look, the bills add up. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes, prescription medication. After all that, for many families, there's not much left at the end of the month.
So there she was acknowledging the issues, but the comments in response to that speech made for very interesting reading. For the last 3.5 years, she's been saying the economy is doing great. All of a sudden, things need to be fixed. And you can't do that now? Why? What a fraud. She didn't give me anything of substance to process. Show us how you plan to get there, please. My food and rent started going up after Joe Biden and Kamala showed up. The cost of food that she herself created under this administration. Stuff like that always makes the incumbent position very, very difficult because you're stuck in a position where you either take action to fix the issues or you have to wait and use those issues to try and get yourself elected. So it was very difficult for Kamala Harris to really hammer home that point because, of course, Donald Trump and his team pounced upon that to say, well, if you've got these ideas for the economy to lower the prices, you're still vice president. You know, you've only been in power for 3.5 years. You've still got months left. Why are you not taking action to fix this now? But that, of course, is where Trump is very, very effective. Because he often reminded voters that inflation wasn't a problem when he was calling the shots. And he promised to attack the high prices by, quote, shaking things up. And more often, voters that were interviewed about this were among the millions of Americans who feel the economy was stronger under President Trump and wanted him back in the White House so that prosperity could return. And if you look here from this article from CNN, poll after poll showed that voters had more faith in Trump's ability to handle the economy than Joe Biden's back when Joe Biden was in the running for the presidency before he dropped out and gave up the ticket to Kamala Harris. Some 51% of registered voters say they trust Trump more to handle the economy, compared to 32% who trusted Biden more. So Trump brought this home with one key theme: the economy. But if you're putting this into perspective, it's not just Donald Trump who's won. it's also the Democrats who lost. Why is that the case? Well, more and more it seems like the Democratic Party is moving further and further away from working class people and becoming more out of touch with the everyday hard-working American. I mean, have a look at some of these headlines. They are truly scathing. The Democrats' appalling judgment. By sticking with Joe Biden, the party has shown how arrogant and out of touch it is. Democrats ignored every warning, and the results are catastrophic. Democrats are out of touch. That's why they lost. Charlemagne says the Harris loss shows how Democrats are really out of touch with everyday Americans. Suffice to say, the Democrats did not impress the American people during this election campaign. And when you look at the numbers, do you remember me saying at the start of this video that Kamala Harris received 68 million votes? Well, compare that to Joe Biden's vote tally back in 2020. He won 81 million votes. 81 million votes. And as you can see reported here in The Guardian, millions of those Biden voters deserted Harris. But the Democrats aren't just falling out of touch with the working class. They're also falling out of touch with their own politicians. You look at the team behind Trump. Two prominent figures, RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, two former Democrats who left the party to help get Trump elected as the 47th president. And they look more likely to be part of a Trump administration going into January 2025. So the Democrats seem to be losing grip of control with their own base and their own party members. And when you're trying to appeal to the working class of the country, it certainly doesn't help to bring so many celebrities out to endorse you. With all due respect, what exactly do the celebrities know about the everyday working class Americans that have to get up and go to do all these jobs every single day? Most of these celebrities have very good lives. They will not be impacted by this regardless of who's sitting in the White House. Also, some of the pompousness and the snobbery on the Democratic side needs to stop. I mean, you cannot in all good conscience go out there and label a significant proportion of the Trump base as being uneducated or stupid. I mean, any of that kind of malarkey is ridiculous. It's not true.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to deport, says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
You cannot label a significant chunk of the voter base with this kind of sneering, malevolent rhetoric because it doesn't work. These are the people you're meant to represent. These are the people that you need to vote for you. These are the people that will help you get elected. If you push them away or alienate them, then you cannot in all good conscience, after an election doesn't go your way, you cannot complain that those people should have sided with you when you never convinced them to come on board and join you in the first place. But anyway, that result is in the past. We now have to look to the future, because after the 20th of January 2025, we will have a new president in the White House. So what happens now? Well, he will shake things up. Of that there is absolutely no doubt. Just like he did when he was elected in 2016, and just as he's done now, just being elected in 2024, when he takes office and starts calling the big shots, he will undoubtedly cause a big change to the political landscape. Trump has also made energy a key theme of this campaign, so we're likely going to see more oil drilling in the United States, as evidenced by his infamous catchphrase, "Drill, baby, drill." More fracking, more natural gas production, more coal mining. Basically, he wants America to be energy independent because it's a matter of national security to him. We could also see a massive change to food standards in the United States, as well as some of the government agencies. You have RFK Jr. in the background waiting to play his part in the whole Make America Healthy Again campaign. So we could see a lot of the food standards wiped away and a lot of the chemicals in foods in America completely taken away to stop the chronic disease epidemic. You have Elon Musk in the background waiting to play his part with his Department of Government Efficiency to try and wipe out something like $2 trillion worth of funds from the federal government. So a lot of changes could be on the horizon here. The key thing for me that I'll be watching out for will be the economy. If Trump can get business booming in the United States again, get more jobs growing again, obviously I think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder because of the COVID pandemic, because he left office in 2020 with fewer jobs than when he started. And I think it's a little bit unfair because obviously he had the pandemic to deal with and so many people were laid off during that era. But yeah, if you can get business booming, if you can get more jobs created than ever before, if you can encourage entrepreneurship in the United States, if you can get more of this technological innovation, rocking and rolling in the US, then this could be a booming time for America. It could very well be a golden age in terms of business and technology and innovation. But from a Brit's perspective, it'll be interesting to see how Donald Trump gets on with Keir Starmer, because suffice to say, the Labour Party in this country are not fans of Donald Trump. And a lot of the current administration have been quite critical of him in previous years when he was first in office back in 2016 through to 2020. Although now the Labour Party find themselves in government, they've now changed their tune completely and wiped out some of their social media history condemning Trump for some of his actions. It's still too early to see how the world reacts to this, because I think with regards to global affairs, Donald Trump can be a little bit unpredictable at times. So when he takes office, let's see what he does. Let's see what he does with NATO. Let's see what he does with the tariffs. Let's see what he does for the world in general. Because if America can lead the way and make a positive influence, then that's a win for all of us. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think on Donald Trump being re-elected as president? Are you excited for the future? Are you relieved? Or are you disappointed and skeptical that he's going to have as big an impact as many people seem to be suggesting? Let me know your thoughts down below, whether you're a fellow Brit like me, or if you're a member of the international community. Everyone's welcome. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay free. Have a drink on me. I'll see you all real soon. Take care.